It's time for Celebrity Profile on Asteroid G. You're listening to Not So Live from Asteroid G. I'm Mike Finkelstein. With me, as always, is...
Jurassic World Schaefer.
And Guardian of the Galaxy, Queen Bee.
And today we're going to be doing a new feature here on Not So Live from Asteroid G. We are going to be doing a Hollywood profile of a very specific actor or actress. This week we are going to be singling out Chris Pratt for all our hate and attention. Primarily because he just had on Amazon Prime, within, a couple weeks of us recording this or so, the new film for his oeuvre, The Tomorrow War, which, spoilers, sucks.
Yes.
So, it's a bad movie. We'll go over that in more detail another time, or you can read a review on the website. But it's a bad movie. And it got me thinking, why exactly does Chris Pratt star in so many terrible movies? So I went and looked at what he's done since he became famous. Because, he did Parks and Rec, and then he got picked up by the MCU to do Guardians of the Galaxy. And he's got, coming up soon, 3 Guardians of the Galaxy movies under his belt, plus a couple of Avenger films, a Thor film, and a holiday special that's going to come out that's tied to Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So that's a lot of MCU crap. And then he's done voice work for the increasingly middling Lego movies. And he's done the hideously middling Jurassic Park films. And now he has the Tomorrow War out. So, what the hell happened? I guess is my first question. Was he ever talented, or was his early stuff that he did and the fact that he can only get middling work indicative of the fact that the guy actually doesn't have any talent? And I'll open this up one up to the floor.
Well, the first thing I've seen him in was Parks and Rec, and I think a lot of people are like that.
Yeah.
And I loved his character in Parks and Rec, and I liked the story where he was supposed to be a one-off character.
For one season.
Yeah. But he kind of stuck around because people loved him so much.
Yeah.
And I would think that that's a credit to his acting ability, or at least as a comedic role.
Yeah.
And I think this is where the split comes off, because I think he has great comedic timing. He plays a lovable goofball very well. But then when he did Guardians of the Galaxy, that kind of made him an action hero.
Yeah.
But he was still a lovable goofball in Guardians of the Galaxy. But I think studios and casting agents were like, we need to get Chris Pratt in all this other stuff that he's not goofy, not sarcastic, and he's just not leading main material. He's not like John Krasinski, who can play a great leading main role in an action film without being dopey and goofy. But Chris Pratt's bread and butter, I think, is lovable goofball, regardless if he's a little pudgy. If he has a dad bod like me, or if he's Channing Tatum-esque.
Yeah.
But I want to see him do more goofy stuff. And even in Guardians of the Galaxy, they kind of moved him more to the serious action hero.
As it went on.
Yeah. Which I did not appreciate. But I think that's where the biggest issue is with me personally.
B.
Well, okay, I don't actually have a problem with Chris Pratt. I actually like Chris Pratt, but, there's many times that I like actors that you guys don't. So, here's the take. He's attractive in a goofy way. And believe it or not, women do like the goofy looking man. So, and he is cut when he actually exercises. So we'll give them that. But he was in a couple of really popular TV shows, which actually built his fame. So not only Parks and Rec, which is what he's usually remembered for, he was actually in Everwood, which was an actually popular show back in the early 2000s. He was Shay in the OC. Yeah, he was Shay in the OC, and that was a pretty popular show, the OC. So, and he he was in Moneyball, and that movie, even though he wasn't a big character in that movie did very well in the theaters. So, because it was Brad Pitt and the other guy who I don't like. Anyway, so, you get a whole bunch of that. He was in The Magnificent Seven. I actually really liked that movie. then again, he was also in Jim and the Holograms. So, it really, you kind of weigh it back and forth going, really? You were really in that?
That had
But
so
you
much
were,
promise, though.
it
And he
did
did
have
technically
some
play
promise.
himself in Jim, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of look at his entire career across the board. He has been in a handful of really decent shows and really decent movies. And all actors, they build their careers based on those relationships that they have at the very beginning. And you become more famous as you make those relationships. So he made a relationship with, I believe, the director of the Guardians of the Galaxy, which is, I know we've talked about him,
James
James Gunn. And that is really what launched him into his current fandom. So you got to kind of give him, a slap on the back and say, attaboy, you did good, because you're right. I don't think he's the greatest actor. I really didn't like him in Onward, although I really did like Tom. Who plays the other one? He's a Tom.
Tom Cruise.
Spider-Man. No.
Tom Brady.
Spider-Man. No. Not Tom Brady. That's football. You suck. All of you suck. You just suck. I'm just saying you suck. In any case.
Thomas Jefferson.
Anybody else?
For a founding father, he's had quite a long career. I'm just saying.
No.
Yeah,
now you're making me look it up.
Anyway.
Okay.
So
anyway, that's why. That's why he's famous. That's why he has. That's why he has the popularity right now.
He only has one character. He plays Andy Dwyer in everything.
Okay, but Tom Cruise plays the same character in every movie.
Tom Cruise has too much of a career, okay? The only reason why I watch his films at this point is because I'm waiting for the day he succeeds in killing himself, okay?
Tom Holland. There you go. Sorry.
Tom Holland doesn't work to kill himself. It's Tom Cruise who does that. But but no, I mean, Tom Cruise is basically watching a guy slowly work his way to retirement via suicide in all the movies he does. And it creates some spectacular stunts.
I gotta say, he's like the same age as my mom, and
is she doing action movies?
No, she's barely walking in a straight line right now.
So I mean, see, that's maybe if she was trying to actively kill herself in a motion picture.
He's
okay, but let's just be honest.
Movies
yeah, I know, right?
I am fine.
Yeah,
you could be 90 years old, scaling Dubai buildings, and flipping off a helicopter.
Let's just be honest. The last handful of movies that he's been in that people can remind themselves that he's been in is Jurassic World, even though it was considerably a terrible movie. I actually liked it because I like the Jurassic World fandom.
Yeah, that one was
the Avengers. Everybody likes the Avengers. Everybody likes Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, except for maybe Josh.
I like the Avenger part with Star-Lord up until the part in Infinity War where he stops Thanos.
Kind of.
The plot, like, for no reason. It's just like, oh, so Doctor Strange had everything under control, but Star-Lord's just gonna fuck it up. For no reason.
But what he's done is generally he's both in the Disney camp and he's also in the Universal camp. He's in a very strong position right now. Hey,
I'm not knocking the hustle.
No, not knocking the hustle. He does a lot of movies. He just does the same thing in all of them, and that's my big issue. Like there's the Tomorrow War. He's at his most convincing when he's playing a dopey high school scientist. The second they actually have him have to become like a soldier, he's okay at it, but there's no depth to the performance. He's much more comfortable and he's much happier, clearly, being a big dopey guy. But that's not the kind of roles he's getting cast in for the most part. He's playing the ex-military guy who trains raptors. He's playing the soldier that has to go into the future to fight a war against Edge of Tomorrow style aliens. He's playing these heroes that don't match up with the thing that he's good at, which is the CW star turned sitcom actor for NBC. And I think that's the problem is the movies that he's doing are generally, sometimes they're successful because of the franchise that's behind them, but when it's not a franchise tentpole that has, years of development behind them, so we're looking at, Passengers, or the Tomorrow War, which is shoved to Amazon so that Paramount can actually recoup some money. They kind of suck.
I don't think that Passengers was bad because of Chris Pratt. I actually believe that Passengers was bad because of Jennifer Lawrence.
Passengers was bad because it's just a bad story.
Yeah.
I'm going to
that too, but it was worse because of bad acting all around.
But
so
the dopey, creepy serial killer MRA guy who decides to wake up a woman and she falls in love with him is a bad story in general.
Yeah,
and
it was bizarre. I don't know why he would sign on to that.
That's my first thing. Is
very off-brand.
Pratt, why are you in this movie? Secondly,
money.
Yeah. Secondly, I mean, your dopey guy shtick tries to make the main character lovable, but he's not a character that should be lovable, and you can't sell that other aspect of it, dude. You just can't.
He doesn't play Slimy very well.
No, and the character, I feel like that movie not only needed a different ending, but it needed a slimier guy in the main roles that you're sitting there going, yeah. So after they save the ship, Jennifer Lawrence then shoves him out an airlock and lives happily by herself for the rest of her life because that's the ending she needed.
Yeah. But that whole movie, like you said.
Oh, God.
Oof.
Yeah.
I never finished it. I didn't.
You probably stopped it right when it was okay then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got bored with it.
But yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. He's been in a lot. He has a very long career. I see movies on here that I actually want to go look at and see what the hell it is that it even is to begin with. But he's been in a lot of middling stuff. I mean, Jennifer's Body as a side character. Wieners is apparently a movie that exists as a side character. Zero Dark 30 as a side character. You know, I don't know.
Listen, I can't really argue with you. I agree that some of the movies that he's been in have not been the best movies, but if you enjoy the actor, typically you'll enjoy the movie, regardless of how bad it is.
I mean, I love seeing Tom Cruise kill himself. Nothing could save The Mummy.
Yeah. I didn't mind The Mummy, though.
The Mummy was fine, but, for the amount of money they spent on it, it shouldn't have just been fine.
They should have edited out all of Russell Crowe's parts,
honestly. Oh, God, that we could do a whole other podcast on that. And I think we even already did one.
Yeah,
and I want to do more bitching about it, honestly. But
it's not about Russell Crowe, because I like him, and I like the idea.
Well, okay, we're off topic here. But profile of Russell Crowe for just a second. Russell Crowe is in his element when he's in a period piece.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
if you do a dopey, 1800s science class with Russell Crowe and Chris Pratt, that would be a movie worth watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the two of them. Yeah, just hanging out. Yeah.
I'd watch it.
So.
As long as they got a fight at the end. Because it's not a movie until Russell Crowe punches someone.
So that's his filmography. I guess as a profile of a specific Hollywood star, we do also have to touch upon the fact that he was married to
Anna Faris.
Who
he done her dirty.
Yeah, who he divorced after having a kid with her because apparently they just quote unquote grew apart. Which I don't know if we need to read into that too much. But then he also attends a really, really sketchy church.
Yeah. He married Schwarzenegger, right?
I think I saw something about Schwarzenegger on there.
Catherine, I think.
Catherine, yeah, wow, you're good. Yeah, I'm just looking at his bio right now, and that is, in fact, yeah. Wow. And because of his marriage through Schwarzenegger, he's somehow a member of the Kennedy family now.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, Jews for Jesus is part of his thing. No, thank you.
Okay, but a lot of the stories state that it wasn't Ferris who wanted to break. It wasn't Pratt who wanted to break up. It was Ferris.
But that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Your husband's doing you dirty. Do you stick around?
Why do you think that Chris Pratt was doing her dirty? I'm curious.
Just not a lot to talk about, but there were some rumors back when it happened.
Okay.
But also, I don't want to get into the specifics on air. I'll just leave it at that.
Do you think Anna Faris will be upset with you if you spill something?
Yes. No, they're actually very close friends, and she doesn't like it when he talks about this stuff on air.
Yeah, she's actually texting me right now.
It's like, what are you doing, man?
This is future Anna Faris talking to past Josh.
Okay, so here I will talk about it because I'm not friends with Anna Faris. So, according to what I've read about the whole Faris Pratt relationship, is that Faris was used to being a bigger star, and then when Chris Pratt became a bigger star, she was concerned that his fame would end up ending the relationship because that's what happened in her first relationship with Ben Indra. So, which she was married to. So this would have been her second marriage, by the way. And so I believe she's the one who withdrew from the relationship because she was concerned of Chris Pratt's fame.
Yeah, well, there was also a lot of things going around where Chris was sidestepping a little bit too.
So you have those rumors. I understand. They thought that Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence were having a hookup. Jennifer Lawrence has said that would never happen. She doesn't like him that way. She doesn't actually like him at all. So
yeah, I don't believe that one personally.
I mean, you could see they had absolutely no chemistry in Passengers.
They absolutely had no chemistry at all.
That was one of the dumber rumors I've heard personally.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, being a divorcee myself, I can tell you that there is probably two sides of every story.
Oh, for sure.
Wait, you were in a relationship with Chris Pratt?
Well, I don't like to talk about it on
You and Anna Faris, apparently.
What are the odds?
Neither of you want to talk about it on air. My God. No, but I think my bigger issue with him is specifically the church that he's a part of, and the fact that the church will say really awful things that kind of carries his endorsement, and he won't, flat out say, no, this is a bad thing. He always, does this middle-of-the-road little, well, the church is the church. I'm like, yeah, but you attend it. If this is what the church is saying, you stop attending it and you go somewhere else.
You know what, Mike, I'll say, if you want to shit on Chris Pratt because he's a churchgoer,
no,
I'm completely fine with that.
Because of the church he attends. Go attend church, I don't care.
I'm just saying I support you in that.
But that's not what I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying. Okay, that's fine.
Anyway, so he sucks. And,
okay.
And whatever B might say, he sucks. So. Anyway. You got anything else to say about Mr. Pratt?
No, I think we've said it all. That Mr. Pratt does not have the spark in your eye that he might have had at one time.
He was fine at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish he would go back to comedy.
Yeah. He's better at it. He's actually kind of good at as I said, the parts of Tomorrow War that worked are the parts that feel the most like okay, so they feel like evolution.
Yeah.
That sci-fi comedy. There's parts where he's just hanging out in a science lab with a kid and a goofy dork like him, and they're riffing back and forth, and it works great, and it has energy. That's the movie that they should have made, or they shouldn't have cast Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
In my review of it, I'm like, this movie would be so much better if you had a strong actor that can carry off, a bit of comedy, but a lot of action, like Anthony Mackie.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would have been the better casting choice. The movie would still be hideously uneven and stupid, but, it might actually work better with a different actor in it. And I think that's the problem with a lot of the roles that he picks, is he starred in Guardians of the Galaxy, which he was cast for because he's a comedic actor, and it's kind of a comedic action movie. But he's kind of, they see this, and they see him as a tentpole star who can lead action films, and so that's what he's getting cast in, but that's not what he's good at.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
So now we have to figure out who we're going to do next, so this isn't just a one-time thing where we just shit on Chris Pratt. Although, technically, we've shit on Kevin Smith a lot, so maybe this is the second time we've picked someone to shit on.
Well, we don't have to shit on anybody. We could actually just do another one about,
I mean, it's us. It's us, though. We're just going to shit on people. I think that's what's going to happen.
I mean, I'm cool with doing someone like Peter Dinklage.
Oh, Peter Dinklage. Yeah, we should do a Peter Dinklage one. We've talked about him enough. I feel like we need to do a Hollywood profile.
We should.
Yeah.
Maybe have a because I'm in the middle camp for Like, I'm in between you and B on the Chris Pratt scale, but
I just want better movies from him.
yeah, I
like
expect
him better.
higher. That's
Yeah.
like, it's not that I don't like him. It's just that
No, I don't
my
like his
expectations
politics.
are higher than. Well, I try to take politics out of the art.
I can't.
I know you can't.
I can't.
But I try. Sometimes it's harder than others. Like, for example, if Donald Trump was to start a movie, I probably wouldn't watch it because of his politics.
I'm not going back to watch Home Alone 2 again, that's for sure.
Did they edit that
Wait,
part out?
I wasn't going to watch it anyway. No, that's a bad movie.
Like, whenever he pops up, if I watch
I think they
Zoolander,
did.
like, I'm like, oh.
I think they did take him out of Home Alone too. Yep.
Yeah, they see that have his face edited over with someone else. Who's a black actor we could put in there instead that would piss him off?
Anyone,
yeah.
pick one. Like,
Arsenio Hall.
ooh, what?
Kevin Hart.
What is he doing now? We should do a profile on him sometime too.
Profile on Arsenio Hall.
Where are you at, Arsenio?
This has been a profile on Chris Pratt, not Arsenio Hall, here on Asteroid G. I'm Mike Finkelstein.
Everything is sometimes awesome, but mostly not anymore. Josh Schaefer.
And Guardian of the Galaxy, Queen Bee.
And we will see you next time.